I'm djTLM, and this is Share the Knowledge.
I had a question from Shannon, and the question is, what's your perspective on today's rap tracks? I'm biased because I came up in the era of New Jack Swing and rap during that time. Yeah, same here. You had such a different flow of sounds, but today's tracks seem almost unmixable and real energy and borderline boring. I have to totally disagree, and I'll tell you exactly why. Because I know what you mean. The sound nowadays, to a degree, is totally different. And one of the most legendary producers, DJs, but especially producers, Pete Rock, one of my all-time favorites, he's been doing the same thing that you did here, but he's doing it all the time on his Instagram, especially talking a lot about how horrible all this new rap is. And he's always talking about a specific genre within there, the subgenre, like mumble rap. Like, really, it's also terrible. All the good music is gone, blah, blah, blah. That's just not true. The fact is that most of the music that you're currently not really feeling or has that different flow, that's getting a lot of the attention. Like, really, it's getting a lot of the attention. That's true. So it's more visible. A lot of times in clubs, that is what people want to hear. So in that way, it is definitely all around. But there's a lot of good stuff out there as well. It just depends on where you're looking. So even though I agree with what you're saying about certain tracks, I can't just say that it's today's rap tracks, because like last year, we just entered 2018, but if I look at 2017 and I look at my my playlist on Spotify or whatever, there's so much dope stuff that came out in 2017. And of course, I can name the standard. I can say Kendrick Lamar, of course, like one of the standards of newer artists that is just good or great. But if we're talking about rap tracks right now, the Kendrick album, the Vic Mensa album, the Sahai the Prince album, Fabulous and Jadakiss album, Joey Badass's latest album. What am I missing out on? Rhapsody's album. There's a lot more that it's slipping my mind right now. I'm almost inclined to go check out my playlist, but there were so many albums that were just dope. Now, do they get the same amount of attention? A lot of them don't. Big Crit album. Oh my God. Like, a lot of albums that had like quality music on there. Great production, great lyricism, ill flows. Yeah, like I was really feeling a lot of that. Now, of course, that's not getting the same amount of attention, especially now, as if it's Migos or if it's Tekashi 6ix9ine. You know, it's different than that. But even in those subgenres, I can find tracks that I can appreciate. But yes, the sound is different. The tempo is different, especially with a lot of the tracks you're referring to, even though you didn't name artists. It is a different vibe, a different flow, but it is definitely what a lot of the new kids are really into. So the market is the market as far as that goes, because we can complain all we want about certain artists, but they get the most views and streams. So apparently a lot of people are really enjoying that. Look, I can even see it with my own son, man. I brought him up the right way, in my opinion, because when he was young, I let him hear like all the good stuff. And I'm not even talking rap. I'm talking he grew up as a baby listening to James Brown and stuff like that. And when he was a little bit older, he could hear all the classic hip hop joints. But right now, if I let him hear some of the newer dope tracks, and he's gonna probably say it's cool, but I like this better. And when he says this, he's not even talking about those rappers. He looks at some of these YouTubers. You know, all these YouTubers now are making like rap tracks and diss tracks because he watches some of these vlog channels. He likes those vlog YouTubers better than some of these real lyricists and MCs. And of course, he's 10. I mean, you know, but a lot of the crowd that listens to a lot of this stuff is young. or are just club minded. That's all they want to hear. They just want that dope beat and hear that auto tune, and they're good to go. Now, I can appreciate a lot of that sound in the club as well. So in a club set, I appreciate it to the fullest. But I also know that, like I said, in my playlist, I have all that other stuff. So it all depends on where you look. And that balance has been gone in hip hop for a long time. Like the balance where you, back in the days, if you saw Yo MTV Raps, at a certain point, you had that great balance where you had like, for instance, an NWA track, like some gangster rap. Then you'd have the new Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul. And then you would have Luke come in with that Miami bass sound. You'd have all these different sounds, and there was a certain balance. At a certain point, that shifted, and once again, the people at top only look at business. So the things that were easiest to sell, which of course is sex and violence, those got a lot more push. And all of a sudden you started to see less conscious rap and less other type of alternative rap. And it all became more aimed towards the gangster stuff. Then we had the whole rise of Bad Boy and everything. Everyone had on the shiny suits, and all other artists started to do the same type of stuff. So that balance has been gone for a long time, and it still is. So we're lucky that we have artists like a Kendrick and a J. Cole that do offer that other side, and they do get like a lot of attention. So that's good. But like a lot of the other artists I just named that came out in 2017, they're not getting the same amount of attention as Lil Pump, because Lil Pump has more followers on Instagram, YouTube, and everywhere. That's just what it is. But there's definitely good music if you're looking for it. So I'm not mad at it. I'm glad that music is still out there. I can enjoy that anytime I want to. And as a DJ, you're going to have to decide what you want to do when you go out to play. If you're going to play exactly what they're playing in the clubs and just follow that line, or if you want to go the other route and choose the flavor that is totally your flavor. You might get less gigs, or you might have to build longer to find that own fan base, but that's all up to you. I'm playing less here in the Netherlands because a lot of the music they play now is not what I'm really feeling. I can feel it to a certain degree, but not all the way. So I know a lot of the gigs that are available are probably not to my liking, because I'm not going to play what I don't like. That costs me gigs. That's a fact. So that's a personal choice that everyone has to make. And oh, one more thing, when it comes to the newer music, sonically it is definitely different, and that is because over the years, all these new, not just new producers, but just younger kids that started to make music weren't really knowledgeable. And you could tell that all they were interested in is making sure that it would sound loud. So when they have a track and they have a friend with a computer that can mix and master it, all they do is try to make it as loud as possible. And if you see those tracks, if you look at those wave files, you see those totally compressed tracks that are, the wave file just looks like one block. So the dynamics that you had in the older music are gone. So these older tracks might sound less loud, but because you have so much room in the dynamics still, you can pump it up way louder and still have a clear sound. Well, with that, a lot of that new stuff, if you pump it up, everything will start to distort at a certain level. But yeah, that is a difference alongside with a lot of the tempos that are being used now. They're different, but that changes every couple of years. In a couple of years, the sound is going to be different again. You can't stop that.